This is the Besotted Pride of West London podcast, and we're coming to you. It's smack bang in the middle of summer. It feels like the season's only just finished, but the fixtures have gone up almost immediately. And obviously, really, the excitement is starting to happen. The WhatsApp rings are buzzing, the Twitter is buzzing, the Facebook pages are buzzing. People are already starting to get ready for season 23-24. And the reason why I suppose it's come a little bit quicker is because the World Cup actually knocked a month out of our season. So the season started later. And so we had a bit of a 2-week turnaround, and then bang, here we go. We're back in it again. So absolutely potty for it. My name is Billy Grant, and I'm sitting here. I've just come off a boat. Actually, I've had to do this podcast straight away. I've just come off a boat here somewhere in the south, and I've got my man Laney, who's definitely come off a boat somewhere in the outer regions of somewhere else. Laney, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you. Yeah. It's always a very important day when the fixture list gets put out. As you said, it seems like 5 seconds, but I think they were just waiting for Leeds to get relegated, and then they were ready to go.
That's right. At least would have bought more, to be fair,
Yeah,
as we all know that. You know what I'm saying? And talk about bringing more. I mean, Laney, where you are, I've heard there's lots of people taking more. I mean, you're definitely you've gone a little bit further than going to the West Ham Stadium in East London, haven't you?
Yeah, Thailand, Southeast Asia at the moment. So, I'm here for a little while.
And you're trying to pick up some new fans, actually, because you got fed up with all the sort of the American sort of kind of take over. You just thought, actually, we need to balance it up with a bit of Eastern influence. Is that right?
Well, went out with big Brentford fan on Monday evening. So the Brentford chum that lives not far from here, and so all is good. All is good. Yeah, it was good company. So but as you say, the day the fixtures come out, it all, the closed season, as good as it is, and as much as we all need a rest, the real meat is like, when football comes back, and then, especially in the Premier League, mate, it's like, look, there's a lot of mouth-watering fixtures there, and for some reason I haven't got the trepidation that I've had the last couple of years. I look at the fixture list and I'm going, oh, okay, that's all right then. So I guess the old confidence is there now.
That's right, confidence sees back, and like I said to you, Brentford everywhere. So listen, what we're going to do is just going to quickly go through the fixtures. I mean, some of you may know them, some of you may not know them. Some of you might just want to get a little vibe as to kind of how it's shaping up. I mean, the first game on the fixture list is Tottenham Spurs at home. So Spurs at home is the first game of the fixtures. It's actually on Sunday the 13th, so it's not on the Saturday. It's on Sunday the 13th, and it's going to be on TV. So it's been chosen for TV straight away. Sunday the 13th, 2 o'clock kickoff. It looks like it's going to be maybe 2:30 kickoff. How does that one for you, Laney? I mean, Spurs straight away. I mean, obviously we've got it lingering in our brains, having beaten them 3-1 at their ground not too long ago, and then we're back again. I mean, they're probably not going to be looking forward to playing us, are they?
No, they've got their new manager. They might have our goalkeeper if they care to pay what he's worth by that stage. Is David Raya going to make his Tottenham debut back at the GTEC guarding Tottenham's goal? I mean, weirder things have happened, but a lot needs to happen with the old transfer before that becomes a reality. But yeah, Spurs. We need to beat them at our place now, so there's a real incentive. We know that we can beat them. And we saw last season they're not great shakes, so nothing really to fear there. I'm looking forward to that one. It's a biggie, isn't there? They're one of the top 10 teams. Definitely, they'll probably feel a little bit insulted that I don't say they're in the top 5. I don't think they are anymore. But yeah, they've got a lot to kind of make up for from last season, which is a huge disappointment. But on our own patch, we know what we're capable of.
We do, and interestingly, I mean, we talk about first game of the season. We remember us as Brentford fans playing the first game of the season, which is always the Friday night. It's the night where there's no other football, so normally everyone around the world is looking at that match. And the first game of the season is actually Manchester City versus Burnley on the Friday night, on the 11th of August. And that's the night, really, like I said, we picked up a load of American fans who watched us for the very first time and saw us beat Arsenal. But wow, we want to support that team. Do you think Burnley might get that same kind of influence, so the fan influence after playing Man City on that first night on the 11th?
Yeah, possibly. If they can pull off the shock that we did against Arsenal, I guess it's the Vincent Kompany return to the Etihad kind of derby. So yeah, I think it's a huge game for Burnley. I don't think they'll be looking forward to that, licking their lips. I think it's going to be a proper tough one for them. So yeah, it's a good one to start the season though, for sure.
That's right. And then looking at the first month again, because again, August is, listen, we like August fixtures. The sun's normally out. You go down there, a few beers, in the sun with your mates, Some people are, difficult is that a lot of people are on holiday as well. So some people who have to book their holidays in August, they book their holidays and they keep their fingers crossed that all the crap fixtures actually come in this time, which is something that I've done. And I've looked at this and I thought, oh no, the 19th is Fulham away, which I one of my favourite away days because obviously we always take the piss when we go to Fulham, even when we lose 3-2 last year. I mean, it was great other than the game itself, that last minute goal. Fulham away on the 19th again. First away game of the season. Is that a good omen or a bad omen, Laney?
Again, I really enjoyed going there first game of the season. I didn't enjoy the result. I think it's one, the Suns are going to be out. There's lots of pubs to choose from or find, whether it's directly in Putney or just a little bit further afield. Yeah, again, it's another fixture that I think we want to go into looking for a bit of revenge. I don't think we got what we deserved last year at their place. So yeah, it's an exciting one. Two London derbies to kick off. Not a lot of travelling. And then going into the third fixture, there's hardly any travelling for the first few weeks of the season, really.
Yeah, I mean the third fixture you're talking about Crystal Palace, Palace away as well. Palace at home. Sorry, you got Palace at home. It hasn't been great in the last couple of seasons. Our games against Palace, so it's kind of one of those ones where we're not particularly looking forward to it. You just sort of kind of want to try and get it out of the way, and maybe actually just bag a few points in that first month, isn't it? Especially with Ivan Toney out for the first month.
Yeah, I mean that's always that's the elephant in the room for our season. I think we're right not to be focusing on panic stations of how we're going to cope. We've just got to crack on with it, and it's great that Kevin Sharder's had his transfer kind of firmed up, and there's £22 million been exchanged there. And then Brian Mbeumo scored for Cameroon during the week in the international duty. So we have got options for sure for like the number 9 position. And there's still the transfer window's open. So yeah. Without Ivan Toney, we have to just make sure we get off on the right foot, and I just think that's just in our DNA now. I think against adversity, we're more than up for it. So yeah, bring that one on as well.
So Crystal Palace on the 26th of August, Saturday the 26th of August. Don't forget these fixtures are all subject to change. TV may move a few of them around at the moment. As you said, the Spurs one's already been moved. There might be a few others moved as well. Then we go to Bournemouth. The 2nd of September, which again is a Saturday. At the moment, it's a 3:00 kickoff, which is the last game before the international window. I think the international window looks like it's going to come on the 9th of August as well, the week after that. So you've got 4 games for us to bag some points as well. Then you've got a little bit of a break as well. And Bournemouth, for me, has always been one of those whatever games. So again, it's one of those ones that we need to bag some points. Now, interestingly, let's just have a look, because we're not going to go through all the fixtures. You can also catch them on the Brentford Besotted Twitter. Besotted, and also you can catch it on besotted.com as well. We'll talk about the fixtures on there as well. Just check out an article very, very soon. September, there's a few little mouth waterings. We've got Newcastle away, which is a big away game that people like to go to because it's so friendly up there. It's coming early in the season again, which means that they need to set the date pretty quickly so we can get planes and trains, and also book our hotels as well. I think people have been going out there booking hotels already for Newcastle, which is the big one because obviously hotels up there are very expensive. Newcastle going to be going for another revisit this year, Laney? Are you going to give it a bit of a rest?
Possibly that's a rest. The old Freudian slip where it was planes or trains. Now, for me, that if they do release them quick enough, there were a few cheap flights which were way cheaper than the train last year, and obviously save you the expense of the hotels, which you rightly say are pretty extortionate. Although depending on the weather, there are other options. We can stay up in the northeast coast, elsewhere, and just maybe flip it up a bit, go to the game but just don't do the same pubs, go to Whitby or go to one of the beautiful little towns they've got up there. So yeah, I don't rule it out, but if they complicate it with a Friday nighter, then I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, and then we've got Everton 23rd, Nottingham Forest on the 30th. Again, good little away day there as well. So Forest is still back in the league. We go to October, we've got Man United as well. Again, it's become a bit of a. I looked at that and I was a little bit like, whatever, we're playing Man United. You know what I'm saying? It's like how things have changed. Burnley. And then the 14th is an international break again, October the 14th, the Saturday international. We've got Burnley on the 21st, which is the first of the newbies coming back as well. And they're coming down to our place. It'll be interesting to get them two characters who are very upset about us sort of celebrating like we've won the Champions League. They'll probably see us celebrating even more when they come down to us again, actually, with their towels between their legs, won't they, lady?
An interesting one, isn't it? Because, going back to the old Vincent Kompany conundrum, he's changed their style of play now, hasn't he? So, I'll be excited to see how they do. I think Vincent Kompany's star is on the rise. I think I think Burnley's going to be a stepping stone for him. I can see him going back to Man City at some stage, but he needs to prove he's got that calibre of kind of Man City kind of standards. But I think he's being not groomed for it. But I think that there's only one direction his career's going, and that's up.
So 28th of October is Chelsea away again. One of them away days, which is whatever for me. I don't particularly enjoy the London away days, except for Tottenham. Tottenham was all right last year, but Fulham as well. Chelsea for me is one of those ones that you just get out of the way. But it'd be interesting to see if they fixed their side up since last year, where they were a complete and utter mess, weren't they? They've got a good manager now, to be fair. Old Tottenham manager who actually I thought should never have left Tottenham, but then Tottenham's did a bit of a Kerbishley, a bit of a Charlton. Oh yeah, we can even do better than that, and they've flushed it completely. So he's got a good manager, and you never know. Hopefully he hasn't fixed them up by that stage, isn't it, Laney?
They can't do any worse, can they? There's a few this season that they just can't be worse than they were last year. So what we've looked at as being kind of not we're not crapping ourselves at going to Chelsea anymore because we won the last two games, but it's something that that sequence will probably end because they're at some stage they're going to flick the right switch and they'll go into top club mode. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm not quite as down on that fixture as you, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and then just looking at November quickly, my birthday weekend, we've got Liverpool away. Hotels already booked for that one. As per usual, like I said to you, we'll see when they'll do that as well on the 11th of November. And then Arsenal, 11th or 13th. And then interestingly, after that, it must be another international break actually on the 18th as well. There's no game. Then the Arsenal at home on the 25th, which will be an interesting one because we'll see whether or not Arsenal pitch themselves where they pitched themselves last season, where they face up no cigar. Yeah. But obviously they'll be coming back to try and see if they can tuck in.
November looks a toughie, doesn't it? I know it's only 3 fixtures. West Ham aren't going to be as crap as they were last year in the league. Liverpool aren't going to be as disappointing. They can't be, surely. And then Arsenal, their fans are very excited. They think they've got the calibre and they'll make the signings this summer to really go for the league and not bottle out as they did at the end last year. But I think that's the big ask. It's obviously going to be Man City all over again. Isn't it?
Yeah, and then looking at December, I mean, we'll just
take an hour to get through December's fixtures, mate.
That's right. So the first thing we have to say is that's right. Luton Town coming on the 2nd of December, which is interestingly because Luton, the last time they came to us, to Brentford, to New Griffin Park, which is old Griffin Park, which is their old stadium, was actually in 1999. It's that season where we got promoted from the bottom tier, the second division, Division 2 as it's called, and they got relegated to the conference that year on that last game of the season. I remember it very clearly. We were singing, Andy Scott, and they were berating what was going down in the Football League for deducting them all sorts of points because they were in all sorts of trouble then. So that was kind of like the beginning of the end for Luton. Now they've come back so interesting. They're going to be playing us again on the 2nd of December. Quite an amazing turnaround for them as well, from them getting relegated and then getting back in the league and then accelerating their journey back to the Premier League, where I actually saw them when they used to play in the Premier League before. I actually went to the FA Cup semi-final at Wimbledon, Luton versus Wimbledon at Tottenham as well, actually, when they were a top flight team. And Brentford were in the 3rd division at the time, and I was like in awe of sort of watching Luton and Wimbledon, who there's two teams that we scoff at them now. That's right. But there's semi-final of the FA Cup, and Wimbledon got to the final after that and played Liverpool, which I bunked into the Wembley Stadium to go and watch that as well. But that's a different story altogether. But Luton Town, lady, coming back to our manor.
Yeah, it's a brilliant story. I won't lie. I mean, that's obviously not the fixture I'm most looking forward to in the season. But as a fairy tale, it is incredible. You know, people, you know, we pinch ourselves at the fact that we've gone from, you know, bottom tier to top tier in a little over a decade. But they've gone from non-league. Got to get back in was, you know, they must have been, their fans and you know, the owners of the club and all that, they must have been scared that, you know, they could be trapped outside the football league for a long time. You know, there's no guarantee that you come back. Look what's happened to Yeovil since they were in the Championship. They're, you know, two leagues below, not the league now. So yeah, there's just no guarantees. So yeah, but good to see them back, and hopefully their fans behave themselves this time.
Yeah, and then midweek game we've got on the 5th of December. It's going to be Brighton. Some people are going to be disappointed because Brighton is always known as a good away day, but being on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, I'm not sure what it is, but the 5th of December is going to cut a lot of people out, unfortunately. I'm all right. I'll be down there because I'll be plotted up in the old mother-in-law's flat, I think, for that night as well. But again, Brighton's a good away day that people look forward to. But the other one that I'm looking forward to is a few days after that, Sheffield United, the return of Sheffield. Last time we went to Sheffield, remember Laney, we had such a good time afterwards that we forgot missed our last train back, and we had to stay overnight. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, got the old megabus back. Yeah, I'm not doing the megabus if I
the following day
this year. Yeah, no, thank you.
No. So Sheffield United on that day as well, and there's a load of fixtures as well. You can check them out. The one thing I will just quickly say is Man City, the game, which is on the 23rd of December, just before Christmas. The chances are that will be cancelled because Man City are in the World Super Cup, Super League, Super whatever you call it, cup of soup thing going on. So
they're playing Leeds, are they?
They are, because they're the champions of Europe. They'll be playing them most definitely. So that's going to be happening then. And Wolves at home. We've got a home game on Boxing Day actually, which is quite handy. We'll have to say as well. Going into January, there's actually only 2 games in January because we've got FA Cups obviously at the beginning and the end. So we've got Nottingham Forest at home, and at the end we've got Spurs away on the 30th, which is I'm not sure if that's obviously isn't an FA Cup day. FA Cup day must go into February. So we must have a break. We must have a break actually. At that time in January as well. Going into February, Laney, any pictures?
There's 2 in there. There's 2. There'll be one for third rounds, be like the first weekend in Jan. And there's obviously a second round going on there somewhere as well. But yeah, into February, Man City at home. You know, we need to keep up our record against them. Wolves away, another one I might miss. Liverpool at home, and then West Ham away. So again, it almost mirrors November, doesn't it? It's some tricky ones there. But yeah, we always fear the worst, but we always seem to do all right. Hopefully it's another year where that happens.
That's right. And then going into March, we've got Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, Burnley away, and Man United away. Arsenal away again, one of them pictures, right? Burnley away, last time it took about 75 years to get there. We'll see, you know, it's in March whether or not we go there or not this year. This is a personal thing, because again, third year into the season, people start to pick and choose their away games because they've been to many places, so they'll see which ones they can and cannot do. Then we've got Man United at home. Let's see what kind of force they'll be in April now, Laney, as well. Brighton at home, Aston Villa away, Sheffield United travelling to us, and then Luton. That'll be the interesting one on the 20th of April, travelling to Luton. Be very, very small allocation, so it'll be very, very hard to get a ticket to go to Luton as well. I know yourself and myself are not overly enamoured with the Luton. Going there, we've been there so many times, and it's not the best place to have a drink. It's not the best place. It's just all right. But towards the end of April, it could have a different complexion, though, because if it's like, you know, second, third, last away game of the season, we might actually think, we might give it a little pop. Isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I just got visions of the walking away from Kenilworth Road last time, and it was snowing. Do you remember going back to the car? That was
Tuesday night, and we lost.
Yeah, just before lockdown, wasn't it? It was. So
Tuesday night we lost. We should have won, and it kind of scuppered our plans of automatic promotion, really, didn't it?
Yeah, that was where it got sort of, you know, probably derailed. Really, that was an opportunity. But yes, it was something we need to put right.
Yeah, and then we've got Everton away. Again, you know, we've been to Everton many times. Everton, some people say shouldn't have been there, but they got the points, so they're there. So, but again, we're playing them very late in the season, like we did last season as well. So that'll be interesting. Then the last month is quite interesting because we've got Fulham at home, which we always enjoy. Fulham at home. We'll see whether or not they will. The fans will actually stay to the very end. The Fulham fans, because they don't normally stay to the very end if they lose, because they're quite sore losers. what I'm saying? And then we got Bournemouth away, which for me, not the best away day in the world, but because it's the last away day and it's in May, which means it'll be sunny, it can have a different flavour, couldn't it, Laney?
Yeah, it could. Yeah, Bournemouth when the sun's out is always good.
Finally, just to close this one up here as well, just hoping that Newcastle at home, it's the last game of the season, they may be in European heights doing the business. Anything can happen on the 19th of May. That's the final game of the season. It's on a Sunday, like I said to you. So wrapping up a decent season, Newcastle, I mean, they could be a different team again next season, couldn't they?
Yeah. You're going to have to assume that they're going to be, pushing on again. I don't think the owners are going to be tolerating them regressing, but easier said than done. They had a really good season. We'll find out whether they were overachieving last year. There's a few teams there. We've got to find out whether Brighton overachieve last year. Can they do it again? Can they improve? There's lots of questions. Did we overachieve last year? Can we push on? Can we improve? So it's going to be fascinating. But I'm not looking at that fixture list thinking we're going to be embroiled in a relegation battle. That's for sure. I think there's enough teams there to be busying themselves with worrying rather than us being involved in that.
And the one thing I'll just say just quickly, Spurs on the 30th of January, that's the first game that Ivan Toney is due back. So hopefully Ivan Toney will be back then, and then he'll go straight to Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, Brighton, So yeah, they're saving the games up for him, the Crystal Palaces and the Wolves, and just leave them to pasture.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's doesn't need any more incentive than to come back and start firing all cylinders.
That's right.
Hopefully those months will whiz past because we need him.
That's right. Okay, listen, this has been a short one. We've just gone through the fixtures, just to get the vibe from the fixtures and just to see what you think about it. I mean, if you want to message us or you want to tweet us or send a message to see what you think of the fixtures, which games are you looking forward to, what games are you not looking forward to, let us know. Don't forget we're going on US tour. We're going to be doing podcasts from America in a month's time as well. We've got a few things lined up as well. John Kinkle from the USBs has given us the lowdown of the events that are happening in Philly and also going to be happening in Washington, DC, and we're still working on the one in Atlanta. So like I said to you, if you're going to be going, message us so that we know that you're coming and we can get you all together because there's going to be some vibes there as well. Like I said, my name's Billy Grant and I'm here in the south of London, somewhere by the river, and I've got Laney in the place in Thailand. Laney.
See you later.
See you later. Listen, don't forget to subscribe on all good podcast channels. Don't forget to buy us a beer, besotted.com/beer, and then we will come and we will catch you very, very soon. Thank you very much.
Good evening.
You bees.